Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at the new Breitling Premier Duograph. I'm really excited that we get to review this piece, as Breitling has really been killing it lately with the new releases that they've made between this, the triple date, and the tourbillon. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to get to review these pieces. I'm also excited that they're actually coming to Continental Diamond. I believe with the exception of the tourbillon, the other kind of new heritage pieces are coming very, very soon to this particular store. And the reason that's exciting, I just learned from them, not all retailers are going to be getting these kind of special premieres. So it's really exciting to have a store that we film reviews at get these models. So I'm really excited also to be reviewing the Duograph, as this watch really appeals to me because it has kind of a hidden feature, obviously the split second feature, that no one walking by would really notice, just because again the hand is the split second hand is hidden behind the main chronograph hand when the chronograph is fully reset. So that's something particularly kind of exciting about this watch and appealing to me. And before I forget, if you want to inquire about purchasing this piece or any other really Breitling or any watch from many of the other brands that they carry, I'll be dropping a link in the description to Continental Diamond's website. I'd also like to add a quick plug for my own watch brand that I created. For those of you that don't know about that, I've created a watch brand that specializes in chronographs and affordable chronographs at that, both mechanical and mecha quartz. If you want to learn more about that, I'll drop a link in the description of those as well. But now moving on to this piece, as I said, this is the Breitling Premier Duograph. And just from the face of things, it looks fairly similar to just the standard Premier, but there are a few notable differences. One of those being the thickness of the watch. This watch is 15.3 millimeters thick, which is substantially thicker than the main Premier. And I think the reason for that is that they had to add a module on top of the kind of main chronograph movement to facilitate the split second feature. This is despite the fact that this watch isn't automatic like the main Premier is, the normal one. It is fully hand wound. You get a 70-hour power reserve, so that's not really having it be hand wound isn't really a concern for me. Also, I prefer to look at a hand wound chronograph movement. And this is definitely, in my opinion, better looking than the Premier's movement. One interesting thing that makes me think that they added the split second feature as kind of a module on top of the base movement is that when you actually operate the split second chronograph, I'll do that here. I'll show it what it looks like from the front later on in the video, but just this is just something interesting that I noticed. And I'll compare it with the watch that I designed as well, just so you can kind of see what's going on. You can see when you click and start the chronographs, actually I need to, hang on, I have to get this one wound up a little bit. When you start the chronograph using the top pusher, you see the column wheel turns. Oh, my watch is upside down. There we go. And so the column wheel turned on both watches, and then when you stop it, it turns again. But on this particular watch, no change really occurs in the mechanism that you see on the bottom when I do the split second feature, which is actuated by a button on the crown. And again, that makes me think that there's actually a module that's actuating this particular feature on top of the base movement. So that's just something that I noticed. I actually personally do not know whether it's typical to have a module for a split second feature on movement that's designed specifically for that. None of that really concerns me. It's just something interesting that I thought I would share with the audience. It's just something that I noticed. But again, I am glad that they chose not to make it automatic. I really like the look of the not having a rotor covering up the movement. And again, when you do have a rotor covering the movement, you also get kind of a base plate that doesn't look very attractive usually. You can see more of kind of the guts of the movement on this piece. And again, the movement has a 70-hour power reserve, which is very impressive. It's definitely practical. And it, again, would alleviate pretty much anyone's concern of the fact that it's not automatic. So now I'll demonstrate the actual split second feature just from the front of the watch by pushing the top pusher here. I'm gonna get a better angle. There we go. The pushers have a nice crisp feel. It's the same as the Premier. It feels the same. And to actuate the split second feature, I will push the button on the crown, and the split second hand, you'll see, will now catch up to the main hand. And this is if you want to time specific things, kind of specific events during an overarching event. Again, like if you had kind of a sub-event occur, you'd hit the split timer, you could take note of that time, and then you could catch it back up with the main hand to catch kind of the overall time, to measure the overall time. I just really am fascinated by this feature, and it actually comes at a very reasonable price for this. It's the exact price of this watch is $10,250, which is a lot less than most of the other split-second chronographs on the market, and is really impressive for me. I mean, the quality you're getting of not only that particular feature, but just the rest of the watch is absolutely beautiful, and I think it's definitely worth it. One thing to note, it actually has 100 meters of water resistance, which is kind of impressive for the fact that you have 3 buttons on the watch. So it can go 300 feet underwater. I mean, I personally would never take a chronograph underwater, but that's just me. With the exception of maybe like my Omega Seamaster, which has gaskets in each of the buttons, but again, I would never push the buttons underwater. So that's just something to note. But either way, you know, if you go out in the rain or something like that, the watch is totally safe. And just the execution of this piece is absolutely beautiful, with just both the nice brushed and polished surfaces. You have a very nice alligator leather strap and buckle that feels very high quality, very secure. On some of the higher end brands, honestly, in my opinion, Patek Philippe is kind of guilty of this. The buckles feel kind of, they feel very, very thin. They kind of bend easily, and that I don't really like that. I much prefer a thicker kind of buckle like this, or deployant clasp, I should say. But yeah, again, overall, the piece is executed very, very nicely. If you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.